In a meadow so quiet you could hear the grass breathe, there lived a tiny brown mouse named Pip. Pip was not afraid of the dark. He loved the dark. He loved the way the stars winked at him and the way the fireflies danced like little floating lanterns. Yes, Pip was a very brave little mouse. About almost everything. But there was one thing that made Pip's tiny ears flatten and his little paws tremble. Thunder. Boom! It rattled the acorns right off the oak tree. Crack! It shook the dewdrops off every single blade of grass. The ground shuddered. The air smelled sharp and electric. And Pip did not like it one single bit. In fact, Pip was absolutely, completely, 100% furious at the thunder. Every single night the storm rolled in, Pip would scurry under his favorite mushroom cap and curl up into the tightest little ball he could manage. He'd squeeze his eyes shut. He'd cover his ears with both paws. He'd wait and wait and wait for the thunder to stop. But here's the thing about thunder. It doesn't care if a mouse is waiting. Boom! There it went again. Pip peeked out with one tiny eye. The lightning flashed white across the whole sky. His whiskers quivered. The thunder shook the mushrooms so hard that a little clump of dirt fell right onto his nose. Pip sneezed. Then he glared up at the sky. Would tonight be the night the thunder finally won? Pip pulled his tail in tighter and decided absolutely not. Night after night, Pip hid. And night after night, he felt smaller and smaller. His friend Fern the firefly noticed. She floated down beside him one evening, her soft light flickering gently in the stormy dark. She said, "Pip, why do you always hide?" Pip puffed up his cheeks. "I am not hiding," he said. "I am waiting." Fern tilted her tiny head. Waiting for what? Pip opened his mouth, then closed it again. He didn't have an answer. That question, that one small question, stayed with Pip all night long. He lay in his nest and stared at the ceiling of his mushroom. Waiting for what? He thought about it while the rain dripped. He thought about it while the thunder grumbled far away. He thought about it until the very last star faded and the meadow turned gray with morning. And by the time the sun came up, Pip had made a decision. The very next night, the storm came back, bigger than ever. The wind howled through the tall grass like something alive. Rain hammered the meadow in great silver sheets. Boom! The thunder shook the whole world. Pip's paws moved toward the mushroom, his safe spot, his hiding place. But then, he stopped. He looked at his own tiny paws. He looked up at the enormous, roaring, crashing sky. And something inside him, something small but stubborn, said, "No."
Pip walked out into the rain. Every step was cold and wet and a little bit terrifying. He climbed up onto the tallest mossy rock in the whole meadow. The thunder boomed again, so loud it rattled his tiny teeth. His heart hammered. His tail shook. But Pip planted his little paws. He took the biggest breath a mouse has ever taken in the history of mice. And then he opened his mouth as wide as it would go, and he roared. It was not a very loud roar. It was honestly quite a small roar. It sounded a bit like a sneeze wearing a tiny hat. But here is the most surprising thing that happened next. The thunder did not stop. The rain did not stop. The lightning kept right on flashing. And yet, something changed. Pip looked around. The storm was still there, big and loud and wet. But Pip was still there too, standing on his rock, in the rain, not hiding, not waiting, just there. Fern floated up beside him, her glow warm and steady even in the storm. She looked at Pip. Pip looked at her. And then
Slowly, a smile spread across his little mouse face. The thunder boomed one more time. Pip didn't flinch, not even a whisker. He just looked up at the sky and said very quietly, "I hear you, but I'm not leaving." By morning, the storm had drifted away. The meadow smelled like fresh rain and green things and new beginnings. Pip sat on his mossy rock, his rock now, he decided, and watched the golden light spill across the wet grass. Fern settled beside him, her glow soft in the early morning. Pip felt different. Not bigger, not louder, just steadier. Like something inside him had grown a little bit stronger overnight. And here is what Pip learned on that wet and wonderful night. Courage isn't waiting for the scary thing to leave. Courage isn't being so big that nothing frightens you. Courage is standing on your rock, in the rain, with your heart hammering and your tail shaking, and roaring anyway. Even in the tiniest voice, even when no one hears, even when the thunder doesn't stop. Because the roar isn't for the thunder. The roar is for you. And your roar, it counts too.